think of it as...
The following program was recorded at the ARC Annual Industry Forum in Orlando, Florida. I'm pleased to welcome Editor-in-Chief of Supply Chain Brain, Russell Goodman.
Joining me for a conversation today on collaborative manufacturing enterprise is Greg Gorbach, Vice President, Collaborative Manufacturing at ARC Advisory Group. Greg, welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Greg, collaboration is a very much talked about term in the industry today. Tell us why, tell us what it's about, and tell us what is ARC doing in that area.
Well, collaboration has been quite a popular term for some time now, maybe nearly a decade. We've witnessed two waves of collaboration. The second one's kind of breaking over us now. But the first wave is about collaboration in terms of connecting the plant floor to the business systems and to the engineering systems and supply chain systems. And there's a lot of activity in that area, which peaked maybe about 5 years ago or something like that. Now we're seeing a new wave sort of based on some social network availability, Web 2.0 kinds of things, and it's really a people-centric collaboration.
Well, I want to talk to you about that social networking aspect, but before we get to that, let's talk about what the main driver or drivers, is behind collaboration. What's that all about? Why are enterprises so interested in the subject?
Well, manufacturing is a really competitive area right now, and it's a really turbulent and dynamic environment. So there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of pressure to do things right, to get the right products out in the right time frame for people. A lot of manufacturers have adopted sort of two strategies for success in this area. One being do things well, operational excellence is a buzzword. And the second is innovation, and those two things kind of go together. And collaboration is really an important driver for innovation, because if you think about it, if you have new products or new manufacturing processes or new business processes, these are all areas that require innovation. Innovation works well when you have people working together, sharing ideas, and coming up with new ways of doing things.
Now, you mentioned Web 2.0. You talked about social media. Surely you're not talking about bringing Facebook and that sort of thing into the plant, are you?
Well, in a way, yes. I mean, think of it as, think of a device, for example, that has its own Facebook-like page, a Facebook-like device page. So that device could have its own friends. For example, they could be, a service engineer, an operator, tech support from the supplying company, those kind of things. That device could also have like a chat log. It could react to events and maybe instant message or tweet some of the friends based on some things. It could have, initiate some diagnostics. There are a lot of different things that could be associated with that kind of web page per device on the plant floor. So that's not so uncommon. Another area, just to pick one, is the idea of an expert. If you have a problem, you may have an expert somewhere in your company that knows a lot about it, but you have no idea who it is or where they are. There are some systems out there that help you find, through their profile or through some other means, the right expert for the right job. I mean, Oracle Beehive, for example, has a system that lets you contact an expert in your company while maintaining that expert's privacy about, whether or not to respond to you until they opt in. So those kind of things are already here.
There seems to be a proliferation of collaboration technologies. I guess the question is, how is it that manufacturers get control of that proliferation? How do they manage those technologies? And what about the security aspect of that?
Mm. Well, we call this, there's a class of product that's tackling this whole area, and we call that enterprise collaboration platforms. And these platforms provide tools to help in a number of different areas. So the first thing is basic communications and scheduling. For example, typically a lot of them will integrate to your existing email and calendar system. So it's that basic level of stuff. The next level is publishing. So, provide some tools to let you blog or do wikis or create web pages and things like that to put some content out. A next and powerful tool that these platforms are bringing is what we call shared workspace. So this is a place where you can work on documents together, where you may have a common team calendar, for example, and you can set objectives, and these calendars can be synced up with each individual personal Outlook calendar or whatever it may be. So those kind of tools are also becoming popular. Next is things like sharing documents in a meeting, for example, like a PowerPoint presentation to a distributed team. You could work that through. I think a lot of people have seen that kind of thing. So those are some of the areas. Then, there are also Facebook and Twitter and all these kind of things, and there's some way of having a corporate presence, a corporate kind of system to support interactions with those kinds of technologies, or instant messaging, for example. And then I think the last one, if I remember all of them, is cloud applications. So you could bring your team, for example, together and just have access to a particular application that you can just grab from the cloud, deploy, solve the problem, and then move on. So this class of things is, it's a lot, and it's a lot pulling together. But we're seeing companies like Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, Cisco, and others providing solutions in this area.
I want to hark back for just a moment to something you said earlier. You made reference to the first wave in collaborative technologies, said that it referred to application and business process integration. Has the first wave passed over us, so to speak, or is it still going on?
It's definitely still going on. We did an audience survey here at the ARC forum this week, and one of the biggest problems that manufacturers reported in terms of connectivity from their plant floor is connecting to their business systems. So this has been a sort of a classic problem for quite some time. And it's a strong indicator, I believe, of the importance of connecting, manufacturing operations to your business drivers. And so that's still a real strong thing. But the plant floor has connectivity in a number of different areas. So it's all collaboration, application integration, and business process integration in a number of areas. For example, design and engineering systems, supply chain systems, and plant floor automation systems all have an important role in connecting to manufacturing operations.
Final question. What things do you feel that manufacturers absolutely must do in terms of collaboration?
Well, I think there are two key areas that we've talked about today that we've seen so many manufacturers really struggling with and really trying to solve the problems. And the first area is that what we just talked about, the plant floor connectivity in all these different dimensions. So really, it's important to invest in systems to make those kind of connectivities possible. And second is to really think about new Web 2.0 collaborative tools and enterprise collaborative platforms as a way to improve their business performance overall. Those are two.
Well, it's been a fascinating conversation, Greg. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Greg Gorbach, ARC Advisory Group, talking to us today about collaborative manufacturing enterprise. Thanks for watching.